Welcome, everyone, to After Story, the podcast where we explore the deeper, more mysterious side of ghost stories and folk legends. I'm Alex.
And I'm Maya. Today, we are revisiting a story that really got people thinking. It's a chilling tale from Japan called Shadow in the Rock Garden.
This is the story of three friends, Emily, Kenji, and Leela, who visit a beautiful but old hotel called Mist Garden in the Tohoku region. They are looking for a relaxing trip, but instead, they find a ghost. The ghost of a woman named Misaki.
Yes, Misaki isn't just any ghost. She is an Onryo, a powerful and vengeful spirit. The friends hear her crying, see strange scratch marks on the walls, and feel a very cold presence following them. The hotel is filled with a sadness that they just cannot ignore.
The original story ends with the friends learning about Misaki's tragic past from the villagers. With Kenji's knowledge of Shinto rituals, they finally help her spirit find peace. The hotel becomes calm again. But did the story really end there?
That's the question. The story left us with so many layers to explore. What was Misaki's life really like before she died? Why did a powerful Shinto priest's ritual fail to help her at first? And what can her story teach us about ghosts in other cultures around the world?
These are big questions. So today, we're not just telling her story again. We're doing an extended deep dive into all the details that the original story didn't have time for. We will use historical facts and cultural beliefs to make her story even more real. Get ready, because we're going to dive into the shadows for a much, much longer time.
So, Maya, let's start with Misaki and the idea of the Onryo. It's a very specific kind of Japanese ghost, isn't it? It's not just a person who died.
It's much more than that, Alex. The Onryo is a ghost of a person who suffered a great injustice or tragedy in their life. Their soul is filled with so much anger and sadness that it cannot rest. Instead of going to the afterlife, it comes back to the living world to seek revenge. It's a powerful and scary idea.
I think that's the key. The ghost has a reason, a powerful reason to be here. We found a fictional diary from a Shinto priest from that time. He wrote, "I performed a ritual for Misaki. I tried to cleanse her spirit, but her sadness was like a deep, dark ocean. The ritual was flawed. I was not strong enough to cross it."
The ritual was flawed. That's a powerful line. It makes you wonder. The priest was a spiritual leader. He had a lot of power, but even he couldn't help her. Maybe he didn't fail because of a mistake in the ritual itself, but because he didn't truly understand the source of her pain.
That's a deep thought. Let's look at her pain. We found a fictional letter written by Misaki herself. She wrote to her family, and in one part she said, "I feel like a cage. My husband's words are like sharp knives. My heart is a stone, and my soul is tired." Imagine that. Imagine feeling that way every single day.
It's heartbreaking. Her story is set in the late Meiji era. We found out that during this time, women in Japan had very few rights. A woman couldn't just leave an abusive husband. The law and society itself would not protect her. She was trapped. So her sadness wasn't just a personal feeling, it was a societal problem.
A viewer commented on a previous show, maybe the priest didn't understand her pain. And I think that's the most important clue here. The priest saw a ghost, but he didn't see a person who had suffered. He didn't see her as a woman who was a victim of her time. The friends in the story succeeded where the priest failed because they took the time to listen and understand her story.
The villagers in the story also played a part. A new viewer commented, I think the silence of the villagers is what kept Misaki's spirit trapped. They knew her story, but they were silent. They didn't help her when she was alive, and they didn't want to talk about her after she died. That silence could have been a cage for her spirit.
This idea of a ghost born from great suffering, it's not just a Japanese thing. It's a theme we see all over the world.
Absolutely. Let's look at Thailand. They have the concept of phi tai hong, a ghost of a violent or sudden death. The most famous one is Mai Nuk Prakanong. She died during childbirth while her husband, Muk, was away at war. Her spirit was so full of love for her husband and so sad about her death that she pretended to still be alive when he came home.
That's a beautiful but also terrifying story. May Nok's ghost was incredibly powerful, but her power came from her love and her pain. The way people dealt with her wasn't by just driving her away. They had to use a special ritual to get her to understand that she was dead and to let her go.
It's very similar to Misaki's story, isn't it? The solution is not to fight the ghost, but to help them find peace. Now, let's look at a completely different kind of ghost from the West, a poltergeist. The word is German for noisy ghost.
Yes, a poltergeist is all about chaos. Things moving, objects flying, loud noises. It seems to be a ghost that just wants to cause trouble. But we found a fascinating scientific idea called agent theory.
The theory says that poltergeist activity often happens around people who are under a lot of psychological stress or have a lot of anger that they are not showing. It's often teenagers, especially girls. The theory suggests that their strong emotions are so powerful that they cause things to move with their mind without them knowing. It's a form of unconscious telekinesis.
That's a huge idea. Now, let's connect it back to Misaki. Misaki was a woman who was full of pain and anger, but she couldn't show it. So all that repressed anger had nowhere to go while she was alive. When she died, maybe that anger became a power. Maybe her Onryo activity was her own poltergeist activity after death.
I love that connection. It makes the ghost even more human. We found a fictional old photograph, a black and white one. It shows Misaki with her husband. She has a smile on her face, but it looks so forced. In her eyes, there's just a deep, deep sadness. That picture is so important because it shows the silent suffering that finally became the powerful spirit in the hotel.
Wow, Maya. This story of Misaki is so much more powerful now. It's not just a scary story. It's a story about a woman who was wronged by her society.
And it's a story about how suffering can follow us even after we die. It teaches us that ghosts are not always just evil spirits, but often they are a reflection of human suffering and injustice.
The cultural differences in these stories are fascinating, from the Japanese way of trying to give an Onryo piece, to the Thai way of understanding of Phi Tai Hong's love and pain, to the Western idea of a poltergeist born from unconscious anger. All these stories have one thing in common. They show us the power of human emotion.
And the key to helping these spirits is empathy. The friends in the story didn't run away. They listened to the villagers. They learned Misaki's story. They understood her pain. And that's how they helped her find peace. That empathy was the key to calming the shadow in the rock garden.
So, listeners, we have some final questions for you. What do you think about the idea of a ghost as a victim of their time? And in your own culture, what do you think is the best way to help a tormented ghost? Is it to fight them or to understand them?
Let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear about the ghost stories from your country. And one more thing, do you think a ghost is just a ghost? Or could it be a kind of Onryo or a poltergeist? What's the difference, really?
Thank you for joining us for this very special and very extended afterstory. Be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next episode. Stay curious and try not to get too scared.
And with that, our journey into another strange story comes to a close. We hope you found our peek into the peculiar to your liking and maybe even shared a little smile with us. If you enjoyed this episode of the Otherworldly Stories, please remember to give us a like, hit that subscribe button, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a thing. You can also share this story with a friend who appreciates a good mystery and a bit of a laugh. Thank you so much for joining us. Until next time, stay safe out there and keep an eye on the shadows.